Hi, my name is F.Maniar and I am a EdTech demonstrator here at Chorley High School for Girls. So I've been asked to prepare a video about my learning journey as an EdTech demonstrator. And for many of you who've read my bio and seen some of my videos, you may well think that as a specialist IT teacher that this job was going to be a walk in the park. I really wish it was. It was very, very, very different experience. First of all, I really didn't have many of the tools that I needed. I never had to use them before. Prior to lockdown, I've never had to make a video other than a few simple screencast videos just to demonstrate to students how to use particular tools and software. And here we were thrown into the deep end, and I was asked, and I really feel privileged to have been part of this EdTech demonstrator program. So with respect, I really have enjoyed that element of this journey. But what I would like to say, my biggest hurdle, and many of you will find this hard to believe, is I actually don't like being in front of a camera. I've never wanted to be on a video, and here I am. I was just completely thrown into the deep end. So I had to overcome so many hurdles. Luckily, I have a son who's into technology, and I borrowed all his equipment to make my videos. So I'm going to talk you through all about my learning journey, and I hope you can see from the start of my video that as I went along, it became easier. And after my first video, I learned so much that now I feel I'd like to actually make videos on a far more professional level. So please enjoy the rest of my learning journey. Using new tools during the summer when I started my work as an EdTech demonstrator was a real eye-opener. It was the sheer number of tools that were available that really had me bewildered. There were so many tools to use, and I was very quickly able to locate the tools that I thought would be most beneficial, as these were the tools that were going to really help the teachers within the classrooms. So I had to make sure that the tools I was looking at were really the ones that I feel that the teachers would benefit from the most, and the students, because at the end of the day, for me, while I was searching for all of this information, I wanted to make sure that the tools that the students were using were really the ones that were the best for their capacity and capabilities within the classroom and bring real value to the lesson. It was like walking through a department store of digital tools. There were so many to choose from. However, my main objective was always to look at the usefulness of the tool, its ease of use, and how I could use my knowledge of blended learning to integrate this tool into a lesson that any teacher, regardless of their subject, would be able to incorporate into the lesson. One such tool was something like whiteboard.fi as an example, where using this tool would bring so much benefit to a teacher, particularly within a lockdown situation where you could share your learning and view what the students were doing at the same time, as I was able to show within this video that I actually used and created during my EdTech session. So as you can see, one of the students is actually working on a binary task, and I can see that they've actually been able to use their skills to actually generate the correct answer. So as we move on, this was another tool because I wanted to make sure that the tools that allowed a teacher to gain maximum use from the actual use of that tool. So I was able to show how, depending on the stage of the lesson, how different tools could be used and integrated into the actual lesson. And this was something else that I was able to learn during my time as an EdTech so far. So I could see that different tools actually brought value at different times of a lesson. So what I'd like to do at this stage now is just summarize my learning element. For the first one, it really was the identification of how applications seamlessly work within the blended learning framework. This is absolutely essential element and my key message, that tools must work with the lesson. The tool should also be easy enough for students to engage with, regardless of their learning capabilities. The second, how the tools could be used effectively at different points of a lesson. I tried to show how different tools lend themselves at different sections of a lesson, how blending these tools into the lesson would then enhance the quality of the lesson, allow teachers to capture the key learning, and in many instances produce a quick review of student learning, something that traditional methods do not always allow. And finally, my third was the tools that cover a wealth of resources and are organic. Many tools today allow for a wealth of uses and are developing organically, thus allowing teachers who are using these tools to constantly reinvent their learning and still maintain the use of the tools, particularly for those teachers who struggle with technology. So really, I felt like during my learning journey, I was able to try and think about so many elements when looking at all the different applications. One tool I found really useful and I use today all the time is really quizzes. Absolutely covers so many different elements, and now they've even got another new tool which is incorporating slides into the lesson, so a teacher could just rely on this one tool for their teaching. In addition to all the videos I've created and tools I've been able to use, my main leading points have been the ability to work with a wealth of teachers from so many different schools all over England. I've used this opportunity to showcase my learning and engage with these teachers to demonstrate how best to use the tools. The highlight of this journey has been gaining confidence in using new technology and demonstrating its use to teachers from both within and outside of my school. I was fortunate enough to have participated in an inset where I was able to show the staff within my school how to use a really useful tool such as TED as a flipped learning environment. And finally, participating in the virtual conference, which was really a fantastic opportunity to not only showcase my work and that of my colleague Rahila, but also to bring all the work we're doing here at Chorley High School for Girls within the public domain.